Hello, good people. Welcome to Project VITA 5.0, the online launch. All the details, all the questions that you may have regarding the course, what exactly is being offered, how will the classes take place, all of that gets answered in this video. People have been reaching out for over a month now, but I focus more on the current batch of kids, and then once they are completely serviced, move on to the next one. You can, of course, in case you're too lazy to watch through the video, you can call or WhatsApp on this number. You can also drop a mail on this number and somebody from our team will get back to you. Let's look at the most important storyline. See, all the details, all the nitty-gritties are important, but what we want to communicate to you most about is what your entire journey with us will be like. You enroll with us, then we have a section of profile assessment. In profile assessment, we go through your academic record, we go through your work experience record, what sort of, if you've taken CAT earlier or not, what has been your record. And then, basis all those data points, we give you a clear idea of where you need, where all you can apply, where all you have a fair shot, what all efforts you need to put in order to get to the best possible B school, what percentile scores you would need. This is the first step with us. We don't want to sell you the dream of once you score 99 percentile, all B schools in the world will be possible. We'll be very realistic, we'll be very, very fair, and give you a fair idea of where exactly you can end up at. The next, depending upon where all the targets that we've identified in terms of your B school, we're going to engage in something called plan building for prep cycle. So let's say you're a working candidate. So how can you manage your time around it? Your office will take up some hours, your household responsibilities will take up some hours. But then how do you find pockets of time? What all you need to sacrifice, what all you need to prioritize? Those things would happen in the plan building for prep cycle. Also, perhaps certain extra exams that you need to take. Somebody from healthcare background trying to get into administration, maybe informing you of different courses and different options that are out there for you. That will take place in this. Here, it is more about what you bring to the table. Here, it is more about future course of actions that you need to engage in. After that, we come to theory coverage. Theory coverage, we have quant, we have DILR, we have VARC, we have OMETs and PDP support, everything available. PDP training from day one. We have intermittent PDP training classes for your writing, for your interviewing skills, all those other things start right from the beginning in order to ensure that by the time you've prepared for CAT and you've appeared for all these exams, and now when the interview stage starts, you are slightly better off than most other people who would only be starting or their preparation with regards to personality development after the exams. So we do that from the first day itself. There will be intermittent training. It's not like you will have a week, you will have a class every week, but every 2 weeks, most likely there will be a class. Then we have quant, DILR, VARC. We have lots of questions for practice. We have lots of questions with video solutions for practice. We understand and realize that people have low attention spans and they are unwilling to read text. So we provided video solutions for as many things. It is better to understand it. And in those video solutions, we try to emphasize upon not just the solution, but how that initial trigger happened, wherein the teacher, how they thought of moving from point X to point B to point N to point Q, how that journey took place, whatever the triggers in that journey, that is the intent of the video solutions. Post that, once the theory coverage is done. Now see, CAT prep is composed of two portions. One is theory coverage that pretty much everyone in the world takes care of. Then there comes a special skill of test taking. And sadly, a lot of people never really get around to enhancing their skill for testing. We at Anastasis Academy make sure that this second crucial aspect also gets adequate attention. What we mean by this special sessions for test taking is, see, people complete their syllabus too late. We don't do that. We complete our syllabus by May end for most people. And then, unless you've joined late, then you perhaps have to stretch it. But even then, we try to ensure everyone is done by mid of September latest. Post that, you need to engage in dedicated exercises for selecting questions, for identifying the easy ones in order to get your decent required percentile in whatever exams you're appearing for. Then you also need training to build up your temperament of leaving a question alone. If you've taken it up, certain time has passed, building up that discipline that, okay, I can leave this question alone and move on to something else. That is important. And then while these talks are interesting, if you can see it in action, simulation with live feedback, wherein sometimes the faculty member will be attempting the test, sometimes the student itself will be attempting the test, and the faculty member will be providing live feedback for their attempt. All of this happens, and this takes up a good 1.5 months of training, because after this, the judgment, anyone who goes through these sessions thoroughly and practices the appropriate measure, what would happen is, even if your ability to solve questions is not as high as the next person, your scores would perhaps beat them, because they are wasting times on unproductive questions. You are only spending times on questions that are within your range, and thereby maximizing your output. This is what we specialize in. This is what we think is our unique standard selling point, because nobody else focuses on special sessions for testing. There's a lot of talk, but in terms of actions, in terms of a clear, precise path of what needs to be done here, is rarely present elsewhere. Then we engage in a lot of testing and practice. Then once you've done with all your testing and practice, you would know what level you're at. You would have your application information. When I say applications, I mean about different exams, different B schools, what are the deadlines. All of that information will be provided to you in a timely and informational manner, so that you are able to make correct judgments, correct assessments of which B school you should potentially apply to, where all you have a fair shot at. So understand, right at the beginning, we had some discussion, and now we will have application-based information streaming through, so that you don't miss out on any commendable B school. Then, of course, there will be the time of exam. Then there is post-exam GDPI. GDPI prep will also be included in the course. And then you finally get to your dream B school, wherever you're planning to. This is the student life cycle that we envision for people who enroll with us. This is how their entire journey with us will be. Coming to greater details, the nitty-gritties, we have 3 different versions of the comprehensive course that we offer. One is, this is for people who are only focusing on, I need training for the exam aspect of it. I don't need any other training. Comprehensive course. January to May, we'll complete all the basics to advanced theory coverage across all 3. Every class will be followed by assignment sheets. The assignment sheet sometimes will have 20 questions, sometimes will have 50 questions, sometimes will have 100 questions. And every assignment sheet will, of course, have video solutions associated with it. There will be regular mentorship sessions. Every week, there will be a mentorship session in which whatever concerns you're facing, those will be addressed. You can, of course, reach out to the teachers. You can message them on Telegram and talk to them about whatever individual concerns you may have. And you will also get responses there. But there'll also be a global mentorship session held pretty much every week, in order to ensure that the activities that we are focusing on, where the direction in which we are taking our preparation, all of that is accounted for appropriately in those sessions. Then January to May, we make sure your foundation is laid solidly. Then June to August, 3 months, we do our advanced concepts with practice. A lot of time, the advanced concepts, in simply covering them, it does not really make a lot of headspace in the candidates, because those advanced concepts need to be accompanied by practice. Lots of practice. Only then do you start recognizing those patterns, do you start recognizing those advanced ideas in a test setting. We, of course, have our special sessions for test taking, and we also complete our OMITS coverage by August. Why we complete our OMITS coverage by August? Because after this, we want people to engage in lots of testing. See, NMAT starts in the month of, usually it starts in the month of October. This year, it was a slight departure from normality that it started in November. I'm guessing next year it will again start from October. So if I'm not done with all my OMET and prep and OMET instruction by the end of August, I'm leaving very little time for people to appear for NMAT in a healthy fashion. So September, October, we have lots of advanced workshops, lots of live attempts and revision happening all across the course. And in the month of November, the last month for CAT usually every year is held on the last Sunday of November. In the month of November, We do lots of past year CAT papers and lots of mock analysis, basically looking at what could have been done differently. Were there smarter ways of approaching the questions? Which question should you have picked up in the test? Which question should have been left alone? If there were any questions that were missing, then extra inclusion. See, in terms of difference between these three, the comprehensive course has everything. The comprehensive course with test series has everything. The comprehensive course with test series and GDPI has everything. All of these courses have everything. The instruction part of it is not going to differ. What is different between them is, see, they will also have daily mixed practice tests. What I mean by this is, uh, February onwards, every weekday, you'll get a VARC test, a quant test, a DILR test. A VARC test, a quant test, and a DILR test. Five such tests across all areas for each day of the week, each weekday you will get, and this will continue till the end of October. This will be included in the comprehensive course also, comprehensive course with test series also, and comprehensive course with test series and GDPI also. Just that these people will get test series and sectionals extra. These will be our own questions, original questions with video solutions, of course. These people will get the test series extra, and they will also be enrolled with our GDPI program right away. More often than not, what happens is people who do comprehensive course with us and are, as in people who do enroll with us for comprehensive course, end up joining our GDPI program anyway. So this time we are keeping an offering right at the beginning, that in case you are confident enough that you will make it to the GDPI stages, you can directly join us for GDPI prep right away, right from the beginning. And of course, we have one of the most exhaustive question banks available. We have one of the most exhaustive question banks available. More than 16,000 of these questions are video solutions. The rest of them, during the course of the year, we are hoping we will get to video solutions for them as well. This has been a concerted effort over the past 5 years. I've been assimilating, solving. Understand, if you've been through my YouTube channel, you realize there is a lot of free content, practice content available on that channel. If that is the amount of content I am willing to give away for free, I hope you can infer how much content I have present within the course that is available for my kids to practice. That content on the channel is never a part of the course per se. That is for kids who are preparing by themselves. So within the course, there is significantly more content available. Hopefully, all of us are smart enough to realize that. These are the different comprehensive courses, the combined bundled courses that we have. We also have individual section courses. We have the VARC course. In this, we cover the different topics being critical reasoning, paragraph-based reasoning. Within this comes parajumbles, odd one out, and paragraph completion, whatever other topics that come under it. Reading comprehension, the evergreen favorite of every exam, apart from SNAP. Then we have grammar getting covered here. We have vocabulary getting covered here. We have 650 plus timed RC sets available for practice. We have 1000 plus VA questions available for practice. And recommended daily reads will be shared from February onwards. From the time you get your daily tests is the time you would also get your recommended daily reads. Now understand, the content that we have assimilated, the content that we have prepared is so much that I'm fairly certain nobody will ever be able to complete that entire content. Why we have so much content is, for that one kid who is willing to study 14 hours in a day, even that kid should not have a paucity of content, should not have a paucity of practice material. Now, given that not all of it needs to be done, of course, we will provide guidance on what are the important benchmarks that you should be hitting, depending upon your interaction in class, depending upon your responses in class. We'll be able to give you a better roadmap of, okay, even if you've done like 250 RC practice, you are sorted because anyway, your RC skill was pretty much there in place. So 250 RC practice for you is more than enough. Somebody else might get a number of 400. Somebody else might get a number of 650 entirely. So it depends on what we think the level of the candidate is and the interaction that we are having with them. The focus in VARC is not on, we don't want to turn into linguists. We don't want to turn into people who are familiar with arcane, archaic English words. We want people who can understand business English. We are going to learn language. So knowing turn of phrases, knowing phrasal verbs that allows you to understand normal English is far more important as a skill than you being able to recite that supercalifragilistic, whatever that word is. or knowing the meaning of pulchritudinous. That is not the goal. The goal is when you read through a passage, you can contextually derive meaning. You can understand the positive or negative connotation. You can understand if there is a certain tone that the author is using. Is he being sarcastic? Is he being ironical? Is he actually meaning the argument that he's making? Or is he putting it up as a facade? Oh, see, this is such an exaggeration from his end. So being able to discern those different qualities is what is needed for VARC, and that is what our classes will be centered around. Every class will, of course, be 2 hours. Every class will be followed by dedicated exercises for concepts covered in class. So, and of course, followed by the video solutions for them. Video recordings for every class will be available within 12 hours of completion of the class on the portal. We have our portal. When you enroll there, the class will happen there. And once it is done within 12 hours, the class will be available. There will be dedicated testing from the month of June. Remember, in our timeline also, from June onwards, we will start with our dedicated testing. We'll start with our dedicated testing. The initial few tests will be simpler just to get you accustomed to the format of the test. And then progressively, we'll move towards more difficult tests so that by the time August rolls around, you are willing to face any difficulty of test and are able to perform creditably in them. The hours dedicated in class will be 180 plus, including theory, revision, and test analysis, all of it. If I had to speak one line about what our VRC course is going to be about, it is going to be about focus on solving through reasoning. We don't want you to be excellent, as in word par made easy is not the path to VRC supremacy. It is being able to discern simple English when it is presented to you in business format. Okay. This next course that we have is the DILR course. Here we cover all the topics. We cover all the topics, but hopefully, if you've prepared for CAT earlier, you would know. Or even if you don't, we'll talk of it right away. We have CAT. CAT DILR does not really have a syllabus. It is more about mental agility. So mental agility, see, you need the foundation, building blocks, which are these topics. Which are these topics. But then you need to shift from those foundational setups to more unfamiliar territory fairly quickly here. And that is why this is the, out of the 3 courses, this is the only one in which there will be intermittent testing from the first month itself. We are going to test you, we are going to put you into situations. There are 2 aspects that we want to work on. One, see, in VARC, if a question doesn't get solved by you, you should chase after it. But in DILR, there will be questions that will remain beyond your control, and that is fine. There are certain questions that remain beyond my control. Given that I've been doing it for a significant period of time, the number of those questions is significantly lesser than an average candidate, but there will be questions beyond us. Don't give up on them right away, but then there is a limit to which you should try to understand everything. In DILR, getting to that acceptance that not everything will flow into my head is also an attitudinal change that needs to be taught in class. And we focus on that as well, right from the first class when we hold our puzzles class. Anyway, the other nitty-gritties are pretty much same as the VRC course. Class will be for 2 hours, dedicated exercises with video solutions. Within 12 hours, the video will be available. Hours dedicated will be 180 plus, including theory, revision, test analysis. The focus in DILR, if again, just like VRC, if I had to put it down in one line, it would be navigating mental agility, moving from one idea to the other, and then getting to a point where you are comfortable with this movement. Because very often what happens in DILR is you start something, you get stuck, you're unhappy, then you move to something else. Your unhappiness boils over to the next set and hinders you from solving this set for its own merits. We have to get over that idea. There will, of course, be special workshops covering advanced questions, advanced sets. We have 1200 plus CAT DILR sets, including the sheets and the practice material that we have. We have 2 DILR entire practice courses with 400 sets each, 800 sets for practice alone. Then we have sets in our sheet, we have sets in our tests, in our mocks, lots of sets are there. And then remember, I always follow it up with this plus sign because during the course of the year, more material will get added. Okay, we have 20 plus special non-CAT tests. What I mean by non-CAT tests is, see, when you're doing SNAP or when you're doing NMAT, or when in that there is no coding decoding sort of question created, but Snap and Nmat especially, the question types are fairly similar. And if you only do a snap AR section or you do an NMAT AR section, it's not really useful. So what we have is non-cat, special non-cat test, 20 special non-cat tests. Each test has roughly 25 questions. You go through this list of exhaustive questions. It is highly unlikely a question will stump you in the exam now. It will not be a new question that you've never seen previously. It will always be something that you have encountered. So 20 special non-cat tests are more than enough for you to ace all these non-cat or omit exams that we like to call. The final course is, of course, the QA course. The topics covered: number theory, arithmetic, algebra, geometry, mathematics. We have more than 10,000 questions for practice. There are topic-based questions and mixed workshops also. We see initially having topic-based practice is fine, but later on, let's say by the month of August, your topic-based practice should get over. Why it should get over is in the exam, a skill that is needed is for you to move from one question to the next question. They don't tell you the topic beforehand, and you should be able to think of different concepts simultaneously. If you keep on doing time and work, 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 most likely the time and work traps would be fresh in your head and you'd be able to solve that question. But if you do a time and work question, followed by a modulus question, followed by a modern math question, if your brain can function that way, that is why mixed workshops and advanced workshops will be a mixture of questions, not topic specific. Additionally, as we all know, in CAT, certain topics have higher weightage, certain topics have lower weightage. So let's say you end up solving as many arithmetic questions as modern maths questions, it wouldn't serve you well, which is why mixed workshops are the need of the day. The focus in our classes are going to be on understanding concepts, understanding stories, understanding setups instead of rushing through formula. This is on account of two things. I believe this is better for the kid. And secondly, I am very ill-informed on formula. I'm fairly confident there are more kids than me who know the formula of an octagon, as in area of a regular octagon. I don't. I don't because it doesn't come up too often, and I know how to derive it in an exam situation in limited amount of time. Or even say for a frustum, what will be the surface area or what will be the volume. I know similarity of 3D figures and I can derive it in the exam hall. It doesn't really help me if I cram those formulae up in my head. And that is the way we approach it in our classes as well. I don't remember too many formulae, but I remember a lot of stories. Given that I'm not from an engineering background and most of my quant prowess stems from the fact that I understand everything as stories, those of us who are not very fond of maths perhaps can understand and relate to it. Stories are the way you remember things, not a numerical formula. So I stray clear from that altogether. And this process has helped me immensely, and it has also helped my kids immensely. Every class will be around 2 hours, but it often exceeds 2 hours because in quant there is a lot of theory. And then if let's say 1 hour 15 minutes have passed and I see the class today is very responsive. People are paying a lot of rapt attention and people are very, very well focused on what is happening. The pace is amazing. The rate of absorption is amazing. Then perhaps the class will get extended as well. But if I see on some other fine day, 1 hour, 40 minutes, people are tired, exhausted. This especially happens when we do graphing based for modulus graphs. Those days, people are usually generally tired. So on that day, we can perhaps also finish it off slightly earlier. No problem. But then I have that bandwidth to pull it off, to take it to extreme and bring it down because I am the one making the call here. This is what is meant by teacher-led institute where I have the bandwidth to ensure I make small little changes in the system that benefits my student. Okay. Every class will be followed by dedicated exercises. Video will be available within 12 hours. Dedicated testing from the month of June and 250 plus hours of theory revision and test analysis. Quant, as is the norm, requires the maximum amount of theory coverage in class. Okay. Now for pricing, the QA course, you will get 15 sectional tests within that QA course. The price for that is 9,999. The LR course, the price is 9,999. For VRC course, the price is 8,999. Now the comprehensive course, which is only for classroom instruction and mentorship and all that, it is 22,499. If you want the test series along with it, you get it for 2,500 extra. Comprehensive course with test series is 24,999. And if you're looking for comprehensive course with test series and GDPI, it will be 39,990. So in case you opt for this variant, you're already enrolled for Project Bloom that happens in the next cycle. In case you're enrolled for this variant, you will get access to the test series in the month of June when we launch it. And in case you enroll for this variant, you will not miss out on any instructional classes. It is just that you would have to look elsewhere for your test-based needs. You need mock tests, you would have to look outside. You need GDPI, you would have to look outside. Most likely, in fact, I would recommend most people, once you do all that outside, then you'll again come back to us and then then purchase it from us. Then the upgradation option will not be available. So in case you're going to trust us, I would say go for one of the other two variants. In case you want to do this because you already have like your test series lined up, your GDPI prep lined up, you can also go for this version, whatever works. In case you're looking for bulk discounts, and that is the only kind of discounts that we have available, you can call and WhatsApp on this number and you can get perhaps some discount. From this year, there is a separate team altogether looking after sales. So I am completely immune to what discussions happen there. You can negotiate with them, see whatever you can get. I'm not my problem. The classes will start from 6th January. The timings will be 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. for 5 to 6 days a week. In the initial period, perhaps it will be 5 weeks. Then we'll reach a crescent where we have 6, even 7 classes some week, because that is the time. And then towards the end, it will again taper off and come down to 5 classes a week. See, people, one of the weirdest things that happens in this industry is people start studying in the month of September and October and November, which is very, very counterproductive to CAT prep. Your maximum effort, your maximum dedication of time should be in the month of March, April, May, June. Your course or your effort portion should be done here, because the next part, the number of hours you dedicate will be lesser, but the amount of brain that gets dedicated there is significantly higher. So please do not leave a lot of scope for doing a lot of the course coverage and theory coverage in the month of September and October. That shouldn't ideally happen. The way we operate is we give out the schedule for the upcoming week every Sunday to the kids who are with us in the course, and we inform them these are the classes that are going to happen. Okay. Now, this is something very unique to our institute. Registrations, of course, start from today. Registrations will stop at 300 or May 31st, whichever is early. If we hit 300 enrollments by 15th April, enrollment stop then. If we have only 50 enrollments by May 31st, enrollment stop then. Why we do this is, we understand that in a particular batch, in a particular class, I can only take care of so many people. And as in answer, we don't have a webinar sort of class. We have a two-way communication class. If you have a doubt, you raise your hand, I unmute you and you ask me that doubt. We don't have a webinar wherein thousands of people keep typing away and nobody responds to those questions. That does not happen in our class. We talk, and therefore it is the need of the hour for me to limit the number of people I have in class, because for the same doubt, if I keep on answering 7, 8, 10, 100 people, it wouldn't be great for me. So when I have 300 kids, that is like my upper limit, because whenever 300 kids enroll, the smart money is on. Out of them, barely 100 will attend classes. 1/3 is the usual rate for people who enroll and people who attend classes. The rest of them are looking at recorded lectures, and that is fine. If we have only 50 enrollments by May 31st, enrollment stop then. May 31st enrollment stopping number is on account of the fact, see, after May 31st, for somebody who is looking to do absolute basics at CAT prep, other institutes enroll kids with the simple intention of maximizing the revenue. It is highly unlikely you'll be able to provide them with valuable support, but people get enrolled, people pay money. We find it a little predatory if I'm going to take money from somebody without having the assurance of providing them with adequate service. So May 31st, we stop our enrollment, or 300, we stop our enrollment. Whatever comes first, we stop it then. Those who join us slightly late, I would recommend you don't join us late. Cat prep or any instructional medium, it is better if you can join right from the beginning and you can attend classes live, because then the rate at which your doubts get resolved will be much, much higher. Of course, we also have a Telegram system. We also have a doubt resolution mechanism. When we have a Telegram, we have dedicated teachers and certain students from next year, the way we have set it up, who will be responsible for resolving your doubt within 6 hours. Whatever question you said, it will get resolved within 6 hours. So it's not that if you don't attend your classes live, your doubts will not get resolved. But the best way of resolving doubt is as and when it gets cropped up, because the more that doubt festers, the more insidious it becomes and more difficult it becomes for us to overcome them. So please, if possible, if it is not too much of a trouble, please join us right from the beginning. Register quickly. If the numbers get hit, the numbers get hit. We don't move from there. And that is all the information that I had to transfer. In case you have any more questions, I have already highlighted. You can call on WhatsApp on this number. You can mail on this email ID. These these are the two primary contact modes by which you can get in touch with our counseling team. They will tell you all that you need to know. That will be all for this video, people. Hopefully, it answers all the questions that you potentially had. See you soon in class. Okay, bye.